Hey, despite the fact that some say we've reached a peak, drivers are seeing enormous bills at the gas pump each and every day. And the latest unemployment numbers are actually up, sitting at 9% flat. So what's the president's plan? Does he indeed have one? With us right now, a brand new Pennsylvania Congressman, Mike Kelly. He has a plan, and you hatched it really from your years in business. Congressman, welcome.
Thank you, Brian. Great to be here.
Now, you're a football player by trade, and what's it like being a rookie?
It's fine. You know, you got to learn the ropes. You got to learn how to pace yourself because you're going at a pretty quick rate of speed all the time. And, you know, trying to hit all the different events, trying to be in all the committee meetings. They all meet at the same time on the same days. So for me, I'm on 3 different committees. You just want to be there for part of everyone so you can get the meat of what's there and get prepped for it.
You know, all we hear about is if we bring a businessman's mentality, a business person's mentality to Washington, things will get fixed. You're a business person, years in the car business, still in the car business.
Still.
Are you able to apply the same principles?
Well, you know, in my business, I can make changes very quickly. In Washington, you cannot make changes very quickly. I'm one of 435. When I'm in my store, I meet with my guys and I get their input, but at the end of the day, I make a decision and we go with what's best for the company. So this takes a little bit longer, and I understand that, but things have to start moving quicker than they are.
All right, let's open up your playbook because you did play at Notre Dame, and you still have a playbook, and you still have to memorize it. So don't cheat and look at the screen. Right now, you said one of the things you would do is lift the drilling ban quickly.
Well, listen. We already have everything right here within our boundaries. There's no reason for us to go anywhere else in the world. And you know, starting in the 70s, we went away from being aggressive energy developers into people who were more concerned with, we took our eye off the ball. Environmental concerns, yeah, I'm concerned about that too. But don't handicap yourself. We've handicapped ourselves in almost every phase of what we do business-wise. Doesn't make sense.
Right. Now you say reform the tax structure. Where do you start?
Well, I mean, you start with just simple basics. I mean, when you've got the highest corporate tax of anybody in the industrialized world, and you look at it and say, look, I'm a car guy. People buy from me because they like my price. People buy from me because I'm user-friendly. Why in the world would you expect businesses to work under a heavier burden and then say, why are you guys going offshore? You need to stay here in the States. Really? Why would I stay here when there's obviously there's too many adverse conditions? You want to go and do where it's easier to work, and we have to do that here. We have made it too hard for people in business to be profitable.
Speaker Boehner yesterday said, yeah, I'll raise the debt ceiling, which goes up next. We're going to hit it next week if you give me $1 trillion in cuts. What does Congressman Kelly say?
Well, look, in my business, I have to borrow money from time to time to keep the doors open, but I've got to have a turnaround plan that makes sense. And when I go to a lender, they're asking me, prove to me that you can pay it back and prove to me that the things you've done in the past, you've mended your ways. If you haven't, I'm not lending you the money. And I think that's the fallacy here. We've been continued to do poor things, bad things, things that don't make sense to the common guy, and we continue to do it. And if we can raise our own debt limit, if we can print our own money, if we can do things that just don't make sense fundamentally, then we're wrong. We've got to change the fundamental way that we run government.
And although you're a young guy, there's going to be a time when you leave office and you want to put some reforms in place, some automatic reforms. How do you do that?
Well, you do it by sticking together, first of all. If we really mean what we say, and if we came here to fix it, then what you do is you don't give in on your basic principles. Listen, there's nobody in this country that's asleep. They know you have to live within your means. When you're spending more than you make, and we talk about trillions, the average guy doesn't understand trillions. What I tell the people is, look, put it this way. You're making about $21,000 a year, and you're telling your wife it's okay to spend $35,000 to $37,000 because pretty much the revenue trends are the same. It's about 2.2 trillion. Our spend is what bothers me, and the fact that we've done it for so long and now act surprised that we're in this problem. No. Don't be surprised. We put ourselves here, and we've got to get ourselves out.
Automatic tripwire reforms, regardless of the person or the party, something has to change. Things have to be cut. Congressman Mike Kelly, I'm glad you came to the big city.
Thanks,
and out of that place like Pennsylvania, where all you do is breed champion after champion and star after star. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, Brian.